Are you ready for another narrative nonfiction story? Remember, that means a story that is real. Narrative nonfiction. Well, this one is actually written in a poem. So it's narrative nonfiction and a poem. How cool is that? This story is called 8 Days Gone by Linda McReynolds and illustrated by Ryan O'Rourke. I am going to read to you this story. As we read, we also want to think about what's the main idea? What is the main idea of the whole story? Not just a little detail, but what's the whole story about? Main idea. 8 Days Gone by Linda McReynolds, illustrated by Ryan O'Rourke. Hundreds gather, hot July, spaceships ready, set to fly. Launchpad countdown, smoke and flame, rumbling, blasting, seizing fame. Rocket orbits, engines fire, toward the moon, soaring higher. Shrinking planet, streaming fast, starry darkness, sprawling vast. Fasten helmets, gloves and boots, backpacks, air tanks, and bulky suits. Spacecraft readied, systems checks, lunar module disconnects. Michael Collins stays with ship, waits observing, tracking trip. So remember there were 3 astronauts who got on the spaceship. Michael Collins was the astronaut that stayed on the spaceship to observe and wait inside. Nation watching, bated breath, Eagle landing, life or death. Eagle was the name of the piece of the spaceship that pulled away and lands actually on the moon. Armstrong makes his one small step, giant leap from years of prep. This is Neil Armstrong. He was the first person to stand on the moon. Edwin Aldrin hops around, boot prints left on ashen ground. So Edwin Aldrin, he often went by the name Buzz, was the second person to be on the moon, and he left footprints all over the moon with his boots. Desolation, silent, dark, tranquil sea, barren, stark. Hull equipment, careful test, exploration, lunar quest. Snapping pictures, planting flag, soil samples, rocks in bag. Here, now you can see the picture better. Eagle docking, mission ends, journey home to family friends. Right. So, I'm going to go back one picture. Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong went and landed on the actual moon. They walked on the moon, they collected rock samples, they did some tests with some scientific equipment, and they left an American flag because they were American. Then they got back, the Eagle part went back to where Michael Collins was, and they started heading back to Earth. Swiftly speeding, Earth ahead, ship arriving, news is spread. Ocean splashdown, hero scene, helicopter quarantine. So a helicopter, they landed in the ocean, and a helicopter came and had to get them out of this piece, out of the ocean, and then they went on the helicopter to another ship, like a boat ship, not a spaceship. And they spent time on that ship, and they were quarantined just to make sure that they weren't sick or anything from the traveling to the moon. Brave explorers, safe return, data gathered, much to learn. Lunar mission reached new heights, paved the way for future flights. There we go. So this is a little author's note that tells us a little bit more about that space trip, that travel when they went to land on the moon. So you've read a book that was about when they went around the moon and they took a picture of Earth for the very first time. That was the main idea of a different book we read, Earthrise. Today, 8 Days Gone, we read about this this mission called Apollo 11, when those three astronauts, different astronauts, went to the moon and they landed. Two of them got to actually walk on the moon, collect rock samples and everything. So what is the main idea of this book? The main idea is the Apollo 11 mission, or when the astronauts went and landed on the moon. All right, I hope you enjoyed this book, and I did, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye, class.